If you haven't had an opportunity to watch episode 2 of HUMᗄNS, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Laura feels increasingly threatened by the presence of Synth Anita, and Leo's quest for information takes him to dangerous places. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 2 was absolutely brilliant. If you watched this episode, let me ask you this. What was your favorite moment? Now, for the episode review, we're going to go ahead and start right now from the end of the episode and work our way back to the beginning, okay? So the end of the episode leaves us with a cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen to Anita. She's going to be returned to the company, and what I'm hoping is that episode 3, it starts off with the husband and the son returning back from their bike ride, stopping Laura from driving off with Anita. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, man. There was a smile on Anita's face at the end when she said that she was being returned. I don't know if she took that as saying that she's going to get her freedom back. I don't know if that means that in the company is where she wants to be, because that would lead her right into a direct path with Leo. I don't know, but she did smile. It was absolutely strange why she did it. I don't know. Maybe she was getting more feelings or emotions. We'll have to just wait to see. This episode, we get more flashbacks of Anita. She's starting to wake up more, and she's starting to interact as a human. So, like, the little girl that's inside of the house, you know, Laura's daughter, she has like a nightmare or a bad dream. Maybe she was taking a nap or something like that. She said there's a wolf underneath her bed. Anita comes upstairs after she gets done arguing with Laura. Well, not really arguing, but she's kind of like pressing Laura's buttons. We'll talk about that in a second. So the little girl is talking about there's a wolf underneath her bed, and she says, Anita, hug. You know, give me a hug, embrace me, or something like that. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not able to touch you unless your parents approve. And then she's like, embrace or hug or whatever the command was. And then you see Anita, she wraps her arms around the little girl. And this right now, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I was in tears, man. I'm not gonna lie. This broke me down because the embrace was so. The way they filmed this series it's cinematic beauty. That's what it is. If you ever, I guess, I don't know, find yourself loving film and the way that the lens can capture a moment, this was perfection. You can actually feel how how she wraps her arms around the girl, she embraces her, and at that moment when she's embracing her, she starts to realize that either A, she's felt this before, B, this is how you're supposed to act, or C, you know what, I really need to get out of this place and get back to my family. That's what I'm thinking, all right? But, yeah, she embraces her, and then after that, you know, Laura comes upstairs. She stops her from doing that, tells her that she's leaving, and then we go down to the car and stuff like that to drive away, and that ends the episode. Inside of the episode, we see Laura. First off, Laura looks like she's going crazy, according to her husband. I guess, you know, I'm not going to lie. If I purchased a synth, and I brung that synth home, and then all of a sudden my wife was saying that the synth is alive, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. Especially if in society you've been living with these machines for so long, and there hasn't been reports on the radio about any of the synths acting that way. Okay, so I really appreciated that moment when the husband was like, "What's wrong with you, Laura? You're going crazy. You sound." He didn't really call her crazy, because if you call her crazy, you know, that's going to lead to a whole hell of a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. You know, you never call a woman crazy. And she just says things like, you know, Anita's watching me, and Anita is actually watching Laura, but the husband doesn't know that, because he's like, what are you talking about? Like, they're not going to do that anyway, so why am I going to entertain, you know, you saying this? But Anita's actually doing this, man. Like, Anita, like she has this mode, okay? So the synths, they have this mode where they can walk around your house like ninjas, all right? And she sneaks up behind Laura. Like, every chance that she gets, she's always watching and stalking and harassing Laura. So Laura has this secret that she hides from her husband, which is a diary or some sort of day planner or something of her past. She hides it. Anita knows where it's at. I think that's what kind of pushed Laura to the edge of not liking Anita, because Anita knows her secret. Her husband doesn't even know the secret that she's hiding. Okay, and I don't understand that. I mean, maybe you're just not going on your wife's side of the room or something like that, or I don't know. Who knows? I think the guy is pretty much oblivious to a lot of things, but he is starting to notice that Laura is acting strange ever since that trip, okay? And he called her out on that tonight on the episode. He said, you know, ever since you went to that location, you've been different. So he's getting onto her, but he doesn't really, you know, I guess he doesn't want to pick a fight or something like that. Who knows, man? But I love how Anita, I think that she's aware of what she's doing, but I don't know if she's fully, you know, doing it on purpose. But I do think that she is pushing Laura's buttons. I really do believe that, okay? And how do you want to say it? I want to see more. I want to see, that's kind of bad, but I want to see more interactions like that. It was just classic television moments, man. The daughter, Laura's daughter. Laura's daughter, we find out, is a really smart, gifted, talented young woman, and she is letting pretty much her entire future go to shit. And the reason why is because the synths, and she doesn't really trust them. So she spends her, how do you want to say it, her downtime, where she should be studying for school or maybe doing her homework. Instead of doing homework, she actually, you know, learns how to hack these synths. And she puts, like, you know, I don't know, viruses or whatever she puts, some sort of computer program that changes them from what they're originally supposed to be into something more fierce, I guess you could say. The school found out because the synths, they have this alert that goes out, you know, and as soon as you try to hack into them, they start speaking, you know, system malfunction or system virus found, or someone's attempting to hack into us, and then they go alert the authorities. And the school finds out, and we find out that that the school they know that her grades are dropping. Now Laura knows that her daughter's doing bad, and her daughter is hacking these Siths. That also gives Laura an opportunity to talk to her daughter, because the relationship has been pretty bad. And I think it's been bad for a while now, and I guess eventually we'll find out. We're only in episode 2. There's so much stuff to talk about, guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm probably going to have to do like maybe 2 podcasts for this, you know, 2 10-minute podcasts or 15-minute. Might make this 30 minutes long because there's so much to talk about. But anyway, that gives an opportunity for Laura to talk to her daughter about Anita. And then after that, Laura's daughter says, you know, and I guess she finds out over about maybe, I don't know, 6 minutes in the episode, she finds out that there is something different about Anita, and that's what warrants Laura to send her back. And the reason why is because whenever a synth comes in contact with another synth, they send data to each other. What that means is that sometimes you'll see 2 synths, they'll actually, you know, stop, and they'll stop in front of each other, and instead of talking, they usually just stand still and they communicate. Well, one synth was like, he was like, hello. And then Anita didn't say anything back to him. And then after that, the synth replied back because of Anita's silence, and I guess because he couldn't read her code. He says, why don't you show? And when he said that, Laura's daughter's in the window, and she's actually listening to this, and she hears it. And since we know that she's a hacker, she knows about these synths, we know that she's anti-synth. So now we understand why she, you know, viewing that from her room or her balcony or her window, is able to immediately say, okay, there's something different about Anita, and know that. And the reason why is because she knows about these synths, and she's anti, you know, synth. She thinks that pretty much they're taking over all the jobs, and she doesn't have a future as a child. Whew, that was a lot. It was kind of cool, though, because, you know, Laura's daughter doesn't, I don't know, she wants to have a mom. Laura doesn't want to be a mom. And in tonight's episode, Laura actually asked her husband, do you think that all people love their children? And then after that, the husband replied, it's a choice. Not everyone loves their children. Which I thought was really fascinating, you know, because this synth Anita, she loves Laura's child. And it's her choosing. She's choosing to love it. She's choosing to be there. She's choosing to do everything, man. Let me back up. Matter of fact, let me stop this one, and then after that, we'll continue on. I'm probably going to break these up into 2 10-minute segments. Right here, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video, and check part 2, man, and we'll go into more detail.